I did that quite a long time ago. There are some bits that I still really find interesting, but I think I've learned as much as I can from that one, and I would like to make new work, and it's very difficult to actually paint on top of something that's quite as already defined as that is. So it's easier to white it out and start again. I like to reuse my canvases, and having a bit of history underneath is really quite nice sometimes. So you can just leave bits or do a very rough undercoat, a bit like this. Yeah, in a way it feels sad. You know, I quite like that purple, especially with that little bit of blue. But you know, the finished work doesn't really do anything for me anymore, so this painting was the sort of transition between painting molecules and the work I'm doing at the moment. So it was one of the first ones I did that had, it was called Ecosystems. I was trying to suggest that there were a lot of different component parts and overlapping things, and so that was really what that was about. Yeah, colours I'd never used before. It takes a long time to get used to a particular colour if you add one to your repertoire. I mean, this is really quite loose in parts, and a lot of mine have become, the more recent ones have become more sort of like little jigsaw puzzles, and there's a kind of a reason for that. So these look a little bit more like biology, if you like, rather than an abstraction of it. It's all part of the sort of toing and froing of the journey, really. Let's turn that round.
What do you think you would do if you didn't have art?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea how I'd occupy my, well, this bit of me, these big bits of me that this actually keeps happy. I really don't know. Sitting in front of a computer just wouldn't do it. I've spent so much of my time doing this that it's very hard to imagine not doing it. I suppose you just find another way of being, but I don't know what that would be. It's actually just liquid acrylic. So it's quite liquidy already, but it's a bit too gloopy to dribble nicely. Just see how that is. Check that. I work on several. I'll work on one a lot, but then at some point it really needs to have a rest, and I need to have a rest. And so I might go back to one that I had almost finished or thought I'd finished and have another look at it. So there's a conversation between me and each bit, but there's almost a conversation between all the paintings themselves. So I've learnt something over here and I might be able to use it over there. And so there's a series going on, really, I think, probably. I don't know whether I need much more, really. Put a few more dots, maybe. But this is only the beginning. But it's nice to have some interesting things to begin with. So this is the one that we saw earlier. And I've now worked through a whole series of mark making in colour. And it didn't really have a subject for a long time. We were going along the coast road, and there's some beautiful ups and downs along the coast road, and you get really lovely overviews of the countryside. And that set off a little train of thought in my head, and I suddenly thought what a landscape might look like to a buzzard, a place that he knows so well. They're looking for their prey at this incredible height, like 400 metres up or more. looking for some motion somewhere. It's about having a very rich landscape. This is an environment that has lots of top predators. So that means that it has the full food chain in order to support them all. So for me, it's a happy painting. It means we've got a very rich environment that we're happy to live in.